Hi, Melissa.
Good morning, Isaac. How are you?
Good, good. How are you doing?
Good.
Do you need anything from me or before the start of the hearing?
I don't think so.
Great. Well, if you think of anything, let me know.
I sure will. Thank you. Are we going to go all the way till 1, actually?
That's very unlikely. It's expected to be a pretty short hearing, but
Oh,
there's always a possibility
okay.
it could go to the end, but it sounds like that's very unlikely. Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
The office scheduled me another a deposition starting at 1. So I looked at the schedule on here and it said 11 to 1, and I went, oh, better ask about that.
yeah, my guess would be probably be closer to more like 45 minutes,
Oh, okay.
but I can't promise that either, but we should definitely be done completely before 1. So that doesn't give you much of a break if that happens, but I don't think that's likely.
All right. Thank you. Good morning. Can you give me your name, whoever's on iPad 2? You're on mute. You're still on mute. Is there a little icon in your bottom left corner that's a microphone? Can you go into the settings on your iPad and go to the audio?
There we go. How's that?
Ah, there you are.
Sorry about that.
Oh, and now I see your name. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Fine, thanks. How's everybody?
I'm well, thank you.
Thanks.
And Melissa, I guess you have all my information.
I do, Mr. Ripperger. Thank you.
You're welcome. So how are things up there in Colfax and Union counties?
Good. We had a pretty good storm yesterday, and highways were bad, terrible roads. So, but that's typical for us.
Right.
We're sort of the Antarctic of New Mexico. Sometimes people don't realize it, but it's a winter wonderland here. And yesterday was nasty. So today's pretty good. It's supposed to be in the 40s, so that's good. A lot of ice, a lot of snow. We only got a couple inches, but we've still got a foot of snow on the north side of the building here from our storm about a month ago.
Well, you get the southern end of all those Midwestern storms, don't you? Is that what it is?
We do, and we get everything that the southern Colorado mountains get. It always bleeds off. Raton Pass is always a nasty place, and we get those types of storms. Yeah. So that's okay. You know, we need the moisture. Yes, last year we didn't have hardly any snow. This year we've had 4 now. Our highways have been closed a bunch. So, you know, we need the snow.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not getting any of it down here. So
What about the Santa Fe ski area? Is it getting some?
I don't think much. Bill, you hear what happens up there?
Yeah, I actually have not heard about the latest. I think they've gotten more than we've gotten in town, so.
It's
But,
snowing right now in Albuquerque.
Oh, it is? Good.
Yeah,
Wow.
We've got sunshine in Santa Fe, so it's hard to
that's
keep
weird.
up with storm patterns. Yeah,
It's opposite of the usual.
yeah. So Mike, while we're still off the record, let me just say we appreciated your testimony in this case. It's you getting down to the details about Lifeline with your multiple cases here, and it really comes out well. It's informative.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. And I appreciate you guys addressing the questions and really bringing out, curious as to what's going on with a lot of this stuff. And I think anybody who's reading the testimonies will hopefully benefit from those. So, thanks.
Yeah, well, you asked good questions, and there's no certainty with the answers, but I think the national verifier has complicated things a little bit for people. And it makes sense to have it. It's a good idea, but it has made it a little daunting for people, I guess. And so,
It has.
It's been a little journey with Lifeline of these last few years, so.
Mhm. Let's see. Paul, I suppose I should ask you, you have those two pieces of testimony handy, your two testimonies?
I do. Yes, I do.
Good.
The direct and the rebuttal.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you that on the record in a few minutes. I better know what the answer is.
Got them right here in front of me.
So Russell, looks like you're speaking, but we can't hear you.
I'm just softly whispering to myself as I look through things on the computer.
Okay, I got it.
So you're not meant to hear it. I should just mute myself.
Oh, good.
It looks like we have everybody except possibly John Bogatko. Joan, is he going to be here as well today, or is it just going to be you? Looks like you need to unmute yourself.
Okay, yeah, he is not, he's in another hearing.
Okay, well, then I think we have everybody whenever Russell is ready to start.
All right. Okay. Oh, Joan, is John in the EPE hearing?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's a big
He's
one.
the beta attorney, yes,
That's a big one. Okay.
yeah.
All righty. So we have court reporter. Hi, Melissa, is our court reporter.
Hi, Russell.
I think we can go ahead and get on the record.
Okay,
Okay. So this is the hearing for the second phase regarding Sierra Communications petition for designation as an eligible telecommunications carrier. The second phase concerns the portion of the petition that pertains to request for federal lifeline eligibility and state LITAP eligibility. And for the court reporter, LITAP is a you should spell LITAP, all caps. It's an acronym. So it looks like we have everybody here. There are two parties to the case, staff of the Telecommunications Bureau of the Commission. We have Joan Ellis representing, well, I'll let you introduce yourselves. By the way, for the record, I'm Russell Fisk, Associate General Counsel for the New Mexico Public Regulation Commission, and I'm the hearing examiner in this case. And we have two parties, staff and Sierra Communications, and I will let the counsel and the witnesses for those parties introduce themselves. So Joan, why don't you go ahead?
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Joan Ellis, and I'm the staff for the Telecommunications Division, and I have with me my witness, Michael Ripperger.
Good morning. I'm William Templeman, attorney on behalf of the petitioner in this case, Sierra Communications. The witness that we'll be calling is Paul Breach, and he's with us as well.
All right, fantastic. So as I noted in my email last week, and as you all know, we didn't have a pre-hearing conference directly before this hearing to determine the procedures for the hearing. But as per Joan's email, it seems as if since both of these attorneys are well experienced in these ETC petition designation hearings, that will be following the same procedure as in those hearings, so that the witness for the Sierra will go first, followed by the witness for staff. There are no opening or closing arguments, and I think that's about it. Oh, the exhibits, we have the exhibits. We have staff's one exhibit, and we have Sierra's 2 exhibits, and those will be, I assume, we moved for admission. And I guess that's it in terms of procedure. Is there anything I'm forgetting?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
Okay. Okay, well, why don't we go ahead and let Sierra begin their case.
Okay, thank you. Sierra calls Paul Breach as a witness. He can be sworn in.
Mr. Breach, will you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Breach, by whom are you employed and in what capacity?
I am the Vice President, General Manager of Baca Valley Telephone Company, Inc., as well as Sierra Communications.
And I take it your testimony today is on behalf of Sierra Communications.
That's correct.
Do you have in front of you what has been marked as Sierra Phase 2 Exhibit 1?
Yes,
And is that the direct testimony that you submitted in this case?
that's correct. It is.
If I were to ask you the same questions that are contained in that direct testimony today under oath, would your answers be the same?
They would, yes.
And do you also have in front of you what has been marked as Sierra Phase 2 Exhibit 2?
Yes,
And is that the Phase 2 rebuttal testimony and exhibits that you prepared on behalf of Sierra Communications?
that's correct. It is.
If I were to ask you the same questions set forth in that Exhibit 2 document today under oath, would your answers be the same?
They would, yes.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I would move into evidence Sierra Phase 2 Exhibits 1 and 2.
No objection.
You're muted, Mr. Fisk.
Both exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted.
Okay, and Sierra passes the witness for cross-examination.
Thank you, Mr. Templeman and Mr. Hearing Examiner. Staff has no questions this morning.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Breach, you are off the stand, so to speak, unless anyone has any questions following upon Mr. Ripperger's testimony. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's turn it over to Joan for staff's case.
Thank you. Good morning. We'd like to call Mr. Mike Ripperger to the stand. Mr. Ripperger, good morning. And would you please state your name?
Do you want me to swear him in first, Miss Ellis?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely. A minor detail.
Mr. Ripperger, do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You're on mute.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Ripperger, would you please state your name, your position, and for whom you are employed?
My name is Michael Ripperger. I'm the Telecommunications Bureau Chief, and I work for the New Mexico Public Regulation Commission in the Utility Division.
Thank you. And do you have in front of you what has been designated as Staff Exhibit 1, which is your direct testimony?
Yes,
And do you have any corrections to that testimony?
yes, I have 3 minor corrections to my testimony. I left the word, obviously working into an old draft for a different case, left the word electric in 3 places in that testimony. One on the first page in the caption, another on page 16, and then finally one in the affidavit that I signed for the submission of testimony in this case. All have been stricken through for the purposes of filing that in this case.
Thank you. And the changes you just indicated, they are on the court reporter's copy, are they not?
Yes, they should be, that's the version that I submitted for submission in this case.
Thank you. And was this testimony prepared by you and
Yes.
under your supervision?
Yes.
And if I asked you those questions today, would your answers be the same except for the possibility of response to rebuttal?
Yes.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I would like then to move into evidence, Staff Exhibit 1, the prepared direct testimony of Michael Ripperger.
Are there any objections?
No objection.
Okay, Staff Exhibit 1 is admitted.
I'd like to pass the witness, please.
Okay, Mr. Ripperger, just briefly, on page 22 of your testimony, you indicate, and page 23, you indicate that you believe it would be helpful if certain information was provided by Sierra Communications in rebuttal testimony. Have you had a chance to review the rebuttal testimony submitted by Sierra?
Yes, I have.
And did Mr. Breach provide the information that you were seeking?
Yes. And I want to thank Sierra and Mr. Breach for illuminating some of these issues. It was insightful for me to get some of those answered. I'm hoping that it'll also be for the commission.
Your recommendation in this case is for approval of the request by Sierra Communications in these phase 2 proceedings. Is that correct? And I take it there's nothing in the rebuttal testimony that alters your recommendation.
No.
Thank you. I have no more questions.
All right, so it appears to me that the taking of evidence is closed. As in some of the other ETC petition matters, as you know, has been my practice, where the petition is unopposed by staff, and staff recommends granting this portion of the petition in the second phase. I plan to issue a recommended decision sometime this week that would could be heard or could be considered by the commission at next week's open meeting. It'll probably be a fairly bare bones one, as you've seen before, that would recommend approval of the second phase portion of the petition by the commission. I would ask the parties to, if they would waive exceptions, except if there's any particular issue with any particular language in the RD. Bill, does that sound good to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and Joan?
Yes, and for staff as well.
Okay, excellent.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I wonder if I could ask one question.
Yes. Please.
Presuming approval of these phase 2 proceedings, then Sierra would be eligible to participate in the federal and state Lifeline programs. With its testimony in the case, Sierra submitted proposed tariff language. And I guess I envisioned that when the commission ultimately approves this, that Sierra would need to follow up to submit its tariff changes. And I didn't know if you have in the past or if you felt the need now to make any reference to that in your recommended decision, that upon approval, Sierra Communications would submit appropriate tariff language or tariff provisions regarding the Lifeline service that it's been approved for.
I haven't done that in the past. It hasn't come up. I could certainly include a statement like that. I would ask, just not for the evidence, the evidentiary portion of this matter is closed, but I would ask staff if, as a procedural matter, that would be something that would work for staff. Joan.
Yes, I think probably the cleanest and easiest way to do is for them to file their tariffs in compliance with the commission order.
And include that language in the RD. That would say Sierra will within, I don't know if I should give a certain period of days. You tell me. This is a procedural matter I think both of you may have a better idea about.
Well, I guess I need to speak with my witness. I wasn't anticipating this, but and Mike, you're muted. So.
Well, you can, if we could take, I think we could take this offline in terms of you can both Bill and Joan could send me an email with suggested language, because this would be a basically procedural aspect of the RD that could be added. If you want to send me an email this week, decide what will work procedurally for you, because I really don't have an opinion one way or the other. The hearing this was just to decide whether the petition will be granted, but I do understand that the procedural issues that follow upon that might be something that could be included in an RD. I think if Bill and Joan could just agree on if a certain time period should be there or anything like that, that would be fine with me. Does that sound good?
Sounds fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anything else? And I think that's it. Okay. Sounds like there's nothing else. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Breach. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Joan. Thank you, Isaac, for setting all this up. And thank you to the court reporter. Bye, everybody.
Everyone,
Yes.
have a safe
bye.
day. Thank you.
Have a good day.